Welcome back to the Diary of a Single Mom. Hey, how are you guys doing? All you people who found me from entry level moms, I would like to welcome all of you and just say, this is going to be a place of good vibes. This is going to be a place of discussing raw truths. I know I've been away for a bit, right? Like my last video that I uploaded was 2 weeks ago. I just needed a bit of a break from creating content and I needed some time to basically focus on my assignments because I've got those deadlines coming up, those crazy deadlines. And yeah, I've been dealing with a little bit of anxiety. I literally had a panic attack yesterday. But anyways, all the people who have been sending me DMs of their stories, alhamdulillah, I'm so happy that, I've had a few sisters that actually felt vulnerable enough and like had the courage to be able to come and like email me or message me and send me their DMs about issues that I've personally also gone through. So I would like to shout out to all of those lovely sisters who decided to share their story with me. Just say that you're very brave. You're so courageous for going through the situation that you went through and also having the courage to come to someone and to just like share your story with them and ask them for advice. I feel like that's a big step to take because a lot of people won't do that due to fear, stigma, and so many other things, etc. But anyways, guys, so today is going to be a story time that a sister sent to me of her staying in a 9-year marriage where she was abused by this guy emotionally, not physically, but emotionally and verbally. She was abused by this guy. And she sent me an DM. So inshallah, yeah, let's get into it now. Let me read what she wrote to me. My husband is a narcissistic abuser. Thank you for being raw and honest, as I am someone who's going through narcissistic abuse and thinking of divorce. I just wanted to tell you that I finally left my husband of 9 years. He always insults me over the slightest issues, and the last straw was when I traveled from a work trip while him and his mum was with the kids. The house was messy and dusty, so I spent the whole day cleaning. So as soon as she came back from her work trip, she came home and the house was an absolute mess. I fell ill shortly after due to the stress and bad allergy from all the dust, as I spent the whole day cleaning straight after my work trip. I fell ill, and as usual, he never helps me or says, "Are you okay?" or "sorry," because he believes that as he's paying for my health insurance, that should be generous enough for me. So he's basically paying for her healthcare. She's in a country where you have to pay for healthcare. It's not like the UK where we have NHS and it's free. So because he's paying for her healthcare, he's basically saying that's generous enough. So anytime she's sick, he kind of like gets bothered by it. He said to me, "What's more important, the healthcare that I give, or for me to say sorry and give you empathy?" He then went on to insult me and say that I should be more practical in my life and stop whining, as he always said for the past 9 years in our marriage. He doesn't empathize with me when I'm sick, but gives me the cold shoulder and emotional abuse. In my vulnerable state, I asked for help many times and I met with a "how dare you" attitude and no empathy. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing he does is he bombards me with criticisms like I should do this or do that around the house. This morning, when I was sick, he told me to come to the kitchen and said I should look at the top of the cabinets where it's dusty and the backyard is messy. He didn't even say good morning. And he never actually says good morning. She said, as soon as I wake up, I get bombarded with criticism. So as soon as she wakes up, he basically just criticizes her and says, "Why didn't you clean this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that?" He said his mum will think that I am a dirty woman. I argued back and said, "All I'm asking for this morning is grace. I'm not ready for this drama and I don't care what your mum thinks. Can you please just let me be?" So he was still trying to make a point and said to me, if women treated their husbands like a boss, women wouldn't have these problems. So I just said I have a flu and I ignored him. I began preparing breakfast for the kids while he was talking, still in my ear, and said, I need to stop and listen to him while he's talking. He controls me by saying either I do this, I do what he said, or for me to leave this house. My parents are fortunately very supportive, but I'm scared of divorce because of the stigma surrounding divorcees. I tried to make it work as a first daughter and a Muslim, but he said I need to choose whether to move out or to listen to him. He told me to pack my things right now because I'm not allowed to come back. I said, can I come back and get my books? And he said, no. I'm currently at my friend's place. Fortunately, my dad is very supportive and I'm returning to stay with my parents in their house. She's not distraught and that she's grieved her marriage because he was emotionally abusive from day one. So she's already processed the grief. Thank you so much. May Allah bless you. You have touched someone's life and don't stop what you're doing. Wow. Oh my God. Like that is crazy. Like, especially the part where he said, if women treated their husbands like their boss, then they wouldn't be having the problems that they're having. Like the audacity that he had to say something like that to his wife about how if wives treated their husband like bosses, then we wouldn't have this problem. Like, to me, it just shows me that he was breaking her down throughout the marriage. And he was basically trying to get a sense of control of her. And that's what abusers do. And because we live in a patriarchal society, which is like a male dominated society, and I'm not talking about the number of women and men, I'm talking about the ideas that has been created by society, as in women's roles, what women should do, what women should not do. And a lot of the focus is mainly placed on women. So if I speak to it in terms of a marriage, a man will probably, like, especially if he's abusive, what he's going to do is he's going to use things like religion and the fact that, you know, you should obey your husband to manipulate his wife and to break her down and make her feel like she can't do anything about her situation. And it just shows me that this is definitely what was happening to this sister in the marriage. But you know what? Like, I'm so proud of you, like, for leaving him. I'm so proud of you for making that decision to get up and to pack your bags and to go, even though he was the one that initiated that you should, because you didn't listen to him about cleaning the cupboards or something like that. It just doesn't make no sense to me. It shows me that he basically was feeling like he was losing control of this woman. And so what he did was he became very angry and he divorced her. And this, like, literally, there's such a common theme, yeah, of women in these types of marriages that I've seen. And it's so sad to see. Like, literally, there's been other sisters that have messaged me about their situation. And I'm just like, wow, like, oh, like, how are you dealing with this, you know? But it's so difficult to get divorced because you're scared that you're going to be judged by others. Crazy to me because people don't believe this. Like, unless you're a single mom, you'll know, especially if you're a single mom from an ethnic minority background. I don't like when people say that, but because we're not a minority. But if we are people from like Black, Asian communities, like brown communities, right? Black or brown community, there is this stigma that's attached to a woman being divorced. And literally, what happens is when you start to actually wake up and be like, okay, I know I can't be with this person for the rest of my life because how they're treating me is like, I can't deal with it. If you're in that stage where you're just like, okay, this person is abusing me, what should I do? You're going to be met with a lot of like negative thoughts in your head. And a lot of this is what we've been programmed in, like, growing up and seeing things, like, also especially by culture. And we've been programmed to believe that a single mom, you know, is X, Y, and Z, you know, whatever you want to put in it. Like, for me personally, it was like single moms are, you know, always struggling. Single moms are basically not worthy. Single moms can't get married again, or single moms are things that make you feel like, you know, you're worthless. And it's not true. All those things aren't true. It's literally conditioning that's been placed on you from society, and their projections. And it doesn't have to be true for you. And it doesn't mean that it's true. It will only be true if you believe it. So you're going to start perpetuating the same cycle because you believe that these things that are said about you is real and it's true. It definitely is something that happens in society. And that's why I feel like a lot of women are scared to leave their partners or their husbands, you know, even if he's being mentally or emotionally abusive. So I'm so proud of the sister for having the courage to leave this guy, you know, and to get up and pack her bags. Also, so happy for her that she has parents that are supportive and that will let her stay with them, because there are a lot of cases where people have also toxic family members and they don't have anyone to turn to after they have a divorce. Not only that, this lady has a job. Some women get married and they completely rely on their husband to the point where it's like they don't have a skill, they don't have a job, they don't have anything to fall back on if they were to choose to decide to leave that marriage. Because, like, I just wholeheartedly and passionately believe that you should always have something going for you, because you just never know. And this is not for me to come from like a negative place. People sometimes just don't get along. Like, in the worst case, it's going to be abusive. But let's say, for example, you guys, you're not getting along in the house, and then you need to get a divorce. So are you going to solely rely on him? It's sad because there are a few people that have been brought here by their husband, or have been brought to a Western country by their husband, and they have to wait for a visa, a spousal, not a spousal visa, but like a stay, right? For them to be able to become a resident in the country. And then their home is abusive. Their husband is being abusive, and he's using this control that he has over her to basically treat her like a puppet, or to dash her around, or to treat her like she's not worthy, or to call her names, or to pick on her, to break her down, so that he can further control her. So in this sister's case, obviously, as she said, because he pays for the health insurance, he treats her even worse when she's sick. So he gives her the silent treatment. He's mean to her. I didn't write everything that she basically said to me, but like, he's treats her like she's a slave to him, because of the fact that he pays for her health insurance. But thankfully, she's an educated woman and she can live with her parents and start her life afresh. I just feel even worse for the mothers or the women who are in a marriage. They have children with this guy, and this guy is so controlling, and he she can't do anything about it, either because she's depending on him to become a resident in the country, or she might be in a third world country, such as, for example, in Somalia. Like, I know that I've seen a few women who were married to a guy and he would treat them badly, but they would stay because he pays for the bills, he pays for the food, and then they feel like they have no way out. And I feel like it's so important for us to have our shit together. It's so important for us to put our ducks in a row. It's so important for us to have our skills and our education, because a real good man is going to want you to have your own education. A real good man is going to want you to have something going for yourself. Even if you choose to be a housewife and your husband prefers a housewife, if he's a really good man and let's say your values align and you want to be a stay-at-home mom, he would be happy for you to have an education. He would be happy for you to have something going on for yourself. Like, literally, it's only guys who are abusive and controlling that won't want you to get up and to work and to study or something like that, if that's what you wish to do, right? This is just a clear indication of control and abuse, and it playing out in real time. I literally learned that when I became a single mom, and it's still hard till this day, guys. Like, I still deal with the anxiety, the stress. Financially, it can be hard sometimes. But one thing that made my life easier is when I came to the conclusion that I can't depend on anyone else but myself. Like, and this doesn't mean that you can't depend on friends and family members. Like, a healthy support system is the best way to go, and you should always ask for help. But what I'm talking about is that need. So, for example, if you're in a codependent relationship with someone, or a codependent partnership, or it's a family, it could be a family or a sibling, and you're a single mom and you're fully depending on this person to give you money, to give you food, to give you this. If this person is not healthy, they could use their power and misuse it towards you, and that's going to affect your self-esteem, your mental health, your emotional well-being, and it will affect your children as well and how they see themselves. They will see their mother as someone who is being abused, and they either might think this is right, or they might also end up feeling like this is what they deserve. So they're going to play out the same drama in their friendships and in their social circles. And it's definitely something that I've had to wake up and realize. I need to have my stuff together. At some point I realized I didn't have my stuff together. When I was homeless, I realized I didn't have my stuff together. But at some point I was like, I need to get my stuff together, because if I don't get my stuff in order, Then my video just cut off. So I had to charge my phone for a bit. I didn't have, like, I just said to myself, if I don't get my stuff together, then I will be a dependent person for the rest of my life. You being a dependent person makes you vulnerable to abusers, makes you vulnerable to people mistreating you because they're thinking, well, I'm doing this for her, so she has to do this for me. And you'll be surprised. Like, a lot of the time, sometimes people are just like, oh, why are you being so negative when you say that? Actually, a lot of people, you'd be surprised, think this way. The only time you're actually going to see people's true face is when you are in a vulnerable state. I mean, look at homeless people, for example, right? Do you see how people treat them outside? You know, instead of them just walking, if you don't have to help the person, but instead of them just walking past, what they do is they will make comments at homeless people and be like, oh, why don't you go get a job? Or why don't you get this? Or why don't you get that? It's when people are at their most vulnerable state that everything becomes open to them. Like, it's like you open your eyes and you see everything, including your own bad habits, including what got you to where you want. And instead of some people facing the things that they would like to change, they would turn to drugs instead so that they can forget about it or so that they can numb the pain, right? And obviously that's not going to be us, honey. That's not going to be you. But yeah, anyways, guys, if you like more content like this, more story times like this, please do not hesitate to send some of your story times, and don't be afraid to send some stories to me, inshallah, because it's going to be strictly anonymous and I'm sure that there will be someone on here that will benefit from it. So do not hesitate and to email me, inshallah, if you would like to email me instead so that you could be fully strictly anonymous. Then I'm going to put my email down below, inshallah, and you can just email me your stories. But yeah, guys, what would you girls do in this situation? And do you feel like the sister handled it the best way that she could? And is there anything else that you would like to put down in the comments below? But anyways, guys, take care. Love you. Bye.